Well, yeah, we hope you enjoyed our first half hour. If you missed the first half hour discussion here with Vanessa and Justin, Opperman Hardscape, you can really understand why it's so important to have expertise. And because there's so many things you're putting so much at stake here with a house that you're going to potentially live in. It's your little castle for the rest of your life. Why wouldn't you want to make things go right? So just a lot of great information for everybody there. If you missed that first show, check it out on our YouTube or Facebook. On their websites, we give all of our guests a copy of the show for them to use for their purposes. So with that, let's dig in a little bit more here. I wanted to talk a little bit more about what we finished the last show because you got into some good discussion there. And that is the mistakes that people make when they're doing this themselves or they want to get the right people. You talked about the big mistake, but expound upon that a little bit more if you would, and tell us why that's such a big mistake.
There's a lot. There's so many different things, but usually when we go in a bid, one of the first things I'll do is you could see at the bottom of the walls where the stone will step up, and usually the ground is washed out enough to where I can put my arm up underneath some of these walls that's holding behind them, which I think the last one we did was 75 tons we had behind the wall.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and when this company built the wall, the mud you couldn't see underneath it. But of course the ground's going to wash away a little bit each year, so you have to have a certain amount of inches per wall height that you bury your wall. You have to have certain thickness of base, you have to have certain kind of clean rock. You have to have all clean rock behind the wall for filtration. The biggest mistakes I would say is not burying the wall deep enough and not having good enough drainage behind it.
Drainage is key. I know a lot of times it's because water gets everywhere, right? And that's what I think ran out this wall I was talking about that fell behind it, and they just had none of the locks or whatever you call it secured it, and this whole thing blew out.
Yeah.
It was on a little bit of a hill, so the water comes down from the street and when it rains, I guess, and that's enough for it to over time to wear it out.
Yep. You do dirt and then filter fabric and then clean rock and then the stone for your wall.
Okay. What is clean rock? Tell me what clean rock is.
Clean rock is like your regular gravel, 1 inch, 2 inch rock, but without any fines in it, because you don't want those fines to go through. This rock's for the water to filter through, and then there's actual drain pipe at the bottom of the rock.
Okay.
And so it filters out all the water, so you don't want any fines in there. That's an important thing.
Because then it gets clogged.
Yep.
That's where the clogging comes from. Fine meaning you don't want those fine pieces of rock, sand almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, clogging up your drainage system. And then now that 10,000, 50,000, whatever wall is obsolete, or not even that, it's a problem.
Yeah, you end up major problems at that point when you've got leakage on your wall because you didn't put the right kind of filtering in there, I guess, right?
Yep.
Very important. Okay. Well, tell me also a little bit about when you get into this, when it's a matter of doing the job right. You talked about, this is an interesting pre-game discussion between innings, we record 2 shows at a time here, and we were having a little discussion. And something we haven't talked with a lot of people about, but it's important, and it's something I've struggled with, a lot of people deal with, employees. How do you get the best employees? How do you keep them happy? How do you clean house? You talked about how you kind of cleaned house a little bit. Talk about that and how that really made a difference in your business.
We actually cut our crew in half this last year, you don't know what you got until you work with them and see what's going on. We do drug screening and all that and background checks and everything, but we did a little cleaning up and we cut our crew in half, and we actually took the members' pay that we got rid of and put that into the ones we have for more training, and they operate machinery, and instead of a bunch of cheap paid employees that are going to come in and find a new job in a year or two, we want this to be a career for somebody, and they will send them to school or whatever they need to meet the qualifications.
So you were doing more with less. You said, hey, let's optimize here and find the best quality, and the people that aren't as interested in doing the work to the quality and level you want, let them go. But when you invest more into the guys you got, you get more for bang for your buck.
You got to have enough chiefs to Indians.
Keep your chiefs to Indians ratio in order.
That's right.
And help them improve the business. That's important. Okay, I know it for everybody. Employees these days especially is tough to handle. How do you manage them, and how do you get the best results, and what do you do to make the customer happy. Ultimately, is what you're trying to do there. Well, tell me then a time when you really felt like you helped a client. There's one in particular you were talking to me about where you kind of went out of your way because you just saw somebody was struggling or a tough situation and they got left out there. And how did you help them?
It was an older lady that was by herself, and her neighbor had essentially created her problem as to why they had to hire us. And she also needed her house painted and asked us, who can you recommend? And it's like, we won't recommend somebody if we don't know they're going to do a quality job. So we just painted her house for her. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So there was an issue where there was painting that had to be done. Mm-hmm. You did have some background with...
my father was a painter, yeah.
Justin, your father. Okay, so you had somebody say, well, if we're going to... It's not necessarily referral to an outside company, but somebody within the family.
Yeah, I've done commercial painting with them.
You guys just say, hey, you know what? This one's on us. We're going to paint this for you because we can tell the situation that kind of was put upon her because of what the neighbors did and some runoff that they had and caused a leakage problem. And you guys had to fix all of that, and you did. And then you ended up painting it for her too.
Yeah. Real sweet lady.
I think every job we try to look for an area where the homeowner may need help and may not even realize they need help. And, we try to do as much as we can for if they're in need.
Well, this past summer, we had a customer that their son and daughter-in-law's house, their fence blew over. And I'd never been to the son and daughter's house, but I met the parents. And so we knew they had little kids, and so we went over there and we stood his fence up, brought some posts with us, and put his fence up, made it sturdy again so the kids would be good and safe in their yard.
Well, going above and beyond, it's what you need to do these days. If you always work to help make other people happy and successful, your own success is almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
I think Zig Ziglar had said something along those lines, and you can determine your success by the amount of people that you've helped. And so it sounds like you guys have adopted that philosophy too. You actually had to do that a number of times in your business. Just a couple examples.
Work what you think for what you deserve.
Right. So keep putting all the work in necessary to make sure the job gets done correctly. And we're going to talk a little bit about another exciting thing you guys do that's kind of neat with the materials when you're done and the stuff that you had there. But first, tell me the process. What is it? Somebody says, hey, I've heard what you guys do great work. I've seen your work on your Facebook and on your website. I want to hire you guys. What's the process for somebody to get started with you guys?
So first they call and they say, this is what I want to do. Like I want a patio or a retaining wall. So then we go out and we take measurements. We go over different stone options with them, how big they want it, what size and shape they want it. So then we come home, we work it up, we give them the price. If they say, we want to move forward, then we have a contract that we sign. We do half up front, half when it's done. We have the yard jeweled for them. We get the porta potty there. We, any cleanup we take care of.
Permit if needed.
Yeah, permit. We try to take care of every step, start to finish, so the customer doesn't have to do anything. So.
All right, Justin, tell me. So you kick in there, you've taken over to run this project. What are the steps that you take over with right there?
Well, so when we go and start a job, that's where I come in, is when we start the job. And so come in, I'll design it. When I do the bid, I'll design the job, send them a picture, and then we'll go in, me and the guys, we'll spray out the wall we're going to do. We'll dig our base. Usually that's the first step, is digging our base, because usually it's since we know what we're doing, we're digging a big deep base, and then we prep everything and start from the ground up.
And go to town with what you guys have got 23 years of experience with, right, everybody? Well, take note, everybody here. Opperman Hardscape, a professional patio design company. Opperman, Opperman Hardscape. It's HARDSCAPE.com, 217-565-0657. And talk to Vanessa. She will make sure that everything gets set up for you the right way. Is that right, Vanessa?
That's right.
We're doing fences now, too.
And I was saying, you want to talk about these, everybody? Tell me what the fence world and why you decided to get into that.
Well, because we don't have a lot of time to go out on vacation, and with 5 kids, doesn't work out very often for us. So what we did was we put a big patio, sandbox, pool area in our backyard and put a privacy fence around it. And then so I started doing that and started doing it for friends, and we've been doing it this year, and it's It's great. A lot easier than doing walls and patios, I'll tell you that much.
Another example of something you, like you said before, you don't just go out and try this on somebody new. You've done it for yourself first, kind of master it,
Yeah.
tune it, learn it.
Yeah, and we got the augers, the transits, we got it all.
Augers and transits, everybody. So I don't know what those are, but he's got them because those are what you need to make sure that things go the right way. Having the right hardware to make sure the stuff gets done correctly.
We don't guess. We'll have a machine tell us it's correct, and
take out the guesswork here. You don't want people saying, "Oh, I think that's close." We can put the post right about here.
No, we make it square and strong and to last.
Well, that's the key to success. Do it the right way. Do it the right way the first time, and make sure that it's long lasting and can endure for people. Have a great value. You're working on the most valuable asset most people have, and if you can improve the value, give them some more equity in a house. Something like this, it can add some great value.
And that's what I love, because I don't feel it's a career that we get paid for, but it also, nobody loses. It's, you get equity in your home, awesome place to have your memories. When you decide to move, you get your money back that you paid. So it's really a win-win.
Vanessa, make you feel happy?
Yeah.
This is what you do. All right, I'm going to show with everybody, in case you missed some of the work they've done, we're going to put up some of the work they've got on their Facebook page here. And I've got my mousy mouse, there it is over there. Take a look here. So explain what was going on here on that picture we've got up on the wall there. Great looking house. You had to fix this patio here, huh?
It was not a patio to begin with.
Oh, really? What was it?
A very warped deck.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
Dangerous.
They had a deck that I'm not sure what happened, but it needed to come down, and so we ended up putting this patio in for him. And
that looks beautiful. Yeah, I mean, that's some good looking work there. Of course, that's a lot of effort that goes into doing that. All right, tell me a little bit more then as we scroll along here. So another angle here, a couple different shots for that facility. There's some good looking work to make this come together, and boy, when you get down to all of the different, there's a ton that needs to be done to make these things work. I'm going to look back here at some of your other pictures. You've got quite a bit of these on your Facebook page, so everybody check out Opperman Hardscape on Facebook, and I'm going to go right to your photos page here for everybody to see and talk about it. So you have gotten into the fence world a little bit, and this is the standard chain link. Is this some vinyl fence? Is
Vinyl, yep.
Tell me
vinyl
about that.
And wood.
Why vinyl and wood?
The vinyl is, which at first I was more of a fan of the wood, but now that I've been messing with it more, it lasts forever. As long as it's installed tight where the wind can't get a hold of it.
Vinyl you're talking about?
Yeah, and we use more concrete than the standard what calling for.
less maintenance.
Yeah, we do a bigger hole with more concrete, and when you put them in tight, they'll last forever.
Yeah, that fence you got up there, that looks great, and boy, that's a beautiful.
There's cheaper grades that during a hailstorm could get damaged, and then there's a higher grade ones that will not. But either way, it's covered under your homeowner's insurance. So,
Gotcha. It's important to help the people go through that, do the claim process and all that. I know it can be quite a bit of work too. Chain link fence, do you do that too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we do chain and wood and vinyl.
Okay. And then here's some more metal fence. Here's some wood fence. I'm going to try to zoom in on that a little bit. But tell us, what's it like? You say you did like wood?
I like the wood the best, and that's what I did at my house. I like it the best because I like wood with stone. I think is really, they really complement each other.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, when you're into making a property look natural and kind of look and flow with what's going on in the world, wood is obviously a very natural surface that people are used to dealing with every day. So lots of wood makes things look great. Yeah. So I'm going to scroll down here. We've got a few of these we looked at. I'm going to go a little further down here. And so some of these, what do you call that? Is that a cupola? What is that on the screen there?
Pergola.
Pergola? Okay. Mm-hmm. Tell me what's going on here. What did you help them with here?
Well, at that, so for a while we did do pergolas.
We don't do pergolas.
No, we quit doing them because
it's hard to train people to.
Okay. So some of your past work that you've done.
Yeah.
And now there you go. Now is that a pergola also? But here's a deck. You do decks too?
At one point we did. I do need to take those off.
I got you some old pictures. There's some now. Once you've torn down some of the materials, let's talk about this. We'll get into this just a little bit. So these some of the materials. Were these new materials that were coming to the facility?
No, this is materials that were taken out.
Taken out.
And it was too small of a block to retain on. This was a big hill, you could see, and there was a lot of weight behind that. And you're using a small block like that, it was not sufficient. So they came down. So what we do is we haul them all off to the shop. We get them power washed, and then they go into a charitable, some kind of charity work. Whether
that's what I said. The question here, I'm jumping ahead on my list of stuff I want to cover. But what do you do to help the community? How do you contribute? You have a particular charity. And you do something very unique. That's very cool. I think that a lot of people don't even realize, because so many of these, just because a stone didn't fit the design you had there, it was an older stone, different type of stuff, doesn't mean it's trash.
Yeah, it's not poured
you
concrete.
essentially recycle this. Tell me about that and what you're doing with this.
Yeah, so we haul it all off. Well, we asked the homeowner, would you like to keep this or us to haul it off? And we don't charge to haul it off because it gets repurposed for somebody else in need that couldn't on their own afford to get what they need.
Yeah, so I mean, that just, to me, that's incredible. I didn't realize, because there's so much material that ends up being torn out, if you will. All right, it's the tear out, the throwaway. Many times, if it's wallboard and wood and nails and stuff, that's one thing. But you've got a lot of hard materials that could be recycled.
Yeah, and just like the patio stone, the wall stone, 10 years from now, just all you got to do is clean it up, and you have that stone that you bought before, same value.
Okay.
So
get the experts that can help you to make best use, so that you're not just throwing away a bunch of material. You spend a lot of money for this stuff. Why would you just toss it into a trash bin and throw it into a dumpster, and it can be repurposed or recycled or even given to the charitable side of the world?
And we put it in, and we don't charge labor on it either for the job that it goes into.
Really? Okay. Well, that's a good charitable stuff you do there. Well, tell me then, what's one big challenge you guys have had to overcome when it came down to it? Every business is tough, competition, but what was a big challenge you guys have had to overcome with regard to your business?
I think our biggest challenge is, it's hard to compete with the fly-by-night companies sometimes, which now we're more well-named, so people understand the difference starting to, but like a driveway, you have to have 12 inches of compacted rock underneath the paver, where that's expensive, getting all that clean rock delivered, and so you got to charge for that. You got to have underlayment fabric underneath the rock so it doesn't have sink spots. There's lots of stuff that we don't want to skip, but it costs money that we have to buy, so it goes into the bid, and so usually we have trouble trying to compete with the low prices of these fly-by-night companies.
Yeah, so there's somebody there they're giving a lower price, but you get what you pay for, and there's a reason they're not doing the 12 inches, they're not doing the extra layers, they're not doing all that's necessary, and you wonder why they're. How many times do people just say, "Oh no, we're good, we got somebody else," and you're like, "Do you understand why?"
Well, this is what we do is we tell them, if you go with somebody else, and depending on the job, if it's a retaining wall, I'll tell them this is how deep your base needs to be in the ground. And this is how many, every so many rows you need geogrid, and I tell them to ask whoever's giving them the bid about geogrid, ask them about the drainage pipes, ask them about the compaction, all of that stuff. So that way, when the fly-by-night company does come by, either this lady's not going to get ripped off, or she's going to get somebody that knows what they're doing.
Very important. Vanessa, you deal with this. You have to help overcome some of this stuff too. Tell me about it.
Yeah, just what Justin said. We give them a list of, okay, if you're going to get another bid from a different person, we completely understand that. We look at to saving money too. However, these are the things that you need to pay attention to. Are they talking about what their base is going to be like, what the drainage is going to be like? Those are important.
Are they insured?
Things, yeah.
Are they insured? Hey, you want to make sure the guys lifting 3 tons of rock are insured in case they drop the rock somewhere and cause some big problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. I pulled up one of my favorite pictures for some of the work you guys have done here. Tell me about this one. Is this something have we talked about this one in the other show, I guess? But what was going on here? And there's a fire pit right in the middle of this, right next to a pool. This adds quite a bit to their house. They've got their own oasis here.
Oh yeah.
That we talked about.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
Well, they wanted an area to entertain They wanted to have seating on their patios, so we did a seating wall. And then she wanted the fire pit in the middle. So
And this was a family you said that they couldn't leave the house so often?
no, that was a different one.
Okay.
But they had this
This was
particular,
a family that retired, older couple.
and they have grandkids that are there all the time. So they wanted to be able to enjoy the backyard with the grandkids. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah, I mean, that to me just looks like that's like you're almost on a resort right there. You got a little bit going on here. You can hang out and maybe some ping pong, or you could just set up just about anything out there for that particular setup.
Yeah, and it was just a dirt grass patch, and I love the transformation. I love picking up my shovel and walking away looking at the beautiful thing we just created.
That's got to be very rewarding. Tell me though, what is you got a favorite quote or a Bible verse that you kind of use for inspiration that means a lot
I think
to you?
it's James 1:12, and it's, "Blessed is the man that remains steadfast in the presence of trials." And that, there's lots of trials and tests. They say with opportunity comes opposition, and that verse helps me out. Me out a lot. I would say just, and my family and God really just get me through it.
Well, it's important. Just a matter of you got to believe in something. Boy, I've had some deep conversations. My dad's up at the next level, we say, but my mom and I are talking about where that goes. And we watched a whole video all about what's with the afterlife. Not to get too deep here and everything,
Yeah.
but if you feel like you're just at peace and you're doing good and you're helping people, and even with the opposition, there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
How do you just come about and make sure you're just doing the best you can to make the world a better place?
Yep.
Vanessa, is that how you're good to work with your husband who helps you with that?
yeah, always.
That's great. All right, well, tell me, what's a major objection? If somebody says, "Yeah, I think I like this, but," or we were going to go with you, except, what's an objection? A lot of times you have to help people understand why are they. You've talked about that a little bit.
It's really
Price
only
is
the
different.
one is the price. That's the only one, and
We can always make adjustments. That's what we tell all the homeowners. You know, if this doesn't quite fit in the budget, or you don't quite like how, we have it laid out, that's not a problem. We'll make the adjustments. We can make the changes. We can work with things.
instead of an 8-foot wall, you could get 2 4-foot walls, or instead of this natural boulder, you can get a man-made block. Or
There's always options to still be able to provide quality work that will last. That's not going to fall apart. That's not going to cause somebody to get injured. There's always options, but it's not always the cheapest,
Right.
so.
But we never need money after the price is said before we begin. There's never we'll need more money, or we're going to have to hold off on the rest, or anything like that.
Interesting. Well, I mean, there's so much that goes into this kind of a decision. You're spending a lot of money. You want to make sure these things are done correctly, and it's a matter of adding to the longevity and future. There's something, inheritance that you go on to the family. You want to make sure this does well to make a difference. Tell me, what gives you guys the most satisfaction from your work? What do you enjoy most about what you do?
Let me go first.
Yeah.
I know. So at our home, with all the kids and the big family we have a paver basketball court that we made out of pavers. And before that, our boys got along, but it was a little iffy.
They're definitely brothers.
But now we'll sit out there and drink our coffee and watch them all playing basketball together, and knowing that it had that big of an effect, and hoping that it had that big of an effect on the hundreds of other ones that we built all over the place. I hope that those families are having the same joy we are.
Interesting. That's very cool. And that's what it's really all about. Vanessa, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, is just seeing the finished product and seeing how much the customers just love it. And I love seeing his work when he's done anyways.
I tell them all, if there's anything ever that comes up, somebody bumps it with their car, which
we've had to happen.
we had that.
Okay.
Semis hit our walls and they don't fall down. But we tell them, just give us a call. I'll come out there and we'll do whatever needs to be done, because we usually develop quite the relationship with them anyway. So it's not a big deal. We'll come out there. We're taken care of, and we like to make sure that everybody's taken care of.
Yep.
Well, it sounds like you guys have a system in place. It's just a method of helping people, and it just, if you I can tell you really enjoy what you're doing. It helps.
Yeah, and I get paid for it. It's great. I love it.
Right? Yeah. Well, everybody just do what you love. They say, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
And somebody, you can't believe Justin's been doing this for 23 years now, ladies and gentlemen. And so, if you can imagine, when you look as young as Justin does here, I'll put him up on camera. As young as Justin does, and still have 23 years of experience. Makes for a happy household, a happy family, a great business, and the kids are going to help take this thing over. You think they have interest in it? They're playing.
They love it.
Learning to play together a little bit right now.
Yeah,
basketball and take over the business.
They beg us, can I go to work with you? It's like, not this time.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the kids are in age range. What age range are the kids now?
8 to 16.
Okay.
We have 8, 12, 15, 15, and 16.
Okay. And it's a matter of now, just a few more years. 16 can start working. 17, 18. That's been maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years from now. The kids can take over.
Oh yeah, the 8-year-old probably has rocks in his pocket right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they really enjoy what you guys do and are making a difference too. Well, that's important. Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time. With a couple more minutes, I want to show a couple more pictures of some of the stuff you guys have done. I'm going to go back over here to your guys' website, and I'm going to put this up on the wall for everybody to see. So take a look here. Good looking website. Like, I love that picture behind with the green and the purple flowers. I mean, really good looking stuff. But if you just scroll to the bottom of their page, this is OppermanHardscape.com, and start to look at. Tell me when to stop, and we'll just pick an image here to show with everybody. But this is under your gallery. As you go to the bottom of the page here, tell me a couple of these that you'd like me to share with everybody.
Right here, I like this that staircase one.
Yeah, we were going to show that one, I think. There it is.
Yeah.
Tell me about this one. There's a lot of work that went into
We do
this.
lots of stone stairs. Oh yeah, we did go over this one, but we do lots of stone stairs, and so these are the stairs we do, and those are also the 60-pound blocks. The cap's 60 pounds, and the block underneath it's 80. And so those aren't going anywhere. And that segmental block, so any water from that patio that were to go through them, they would just go right through the steps. There's never going to be any settling. Everything's compacted underneath. And then there's a drainage system that wraps around the patio. That's what all that rock is behind the wall. It's a drainage system.
Okay, yeah. So this is in case we missed this. I think we did put this up on the first show, but most people didn't see that show, or a lot of people did. But check this out, because these guys talk about putting some good looking work together, and this picture to me that's pretty substantial, and you got a lot there going on to help a family.
This one totaled 4,000 square feet.
This one was 4,000 square feet altogether. Okay. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, great work from great people, doing a lot to make a little impact on our little planet here. Big impact on our little planet here, helping families really improve the value in their home for their families to enjoy and enjoy our little time on this planet. Develop those relationships. It must be fun having your kids playing basketball together, because they're all learning on a court that you built yourself. That's kind of neat. So that you
I built with my sons. Yeah,
and they got to build it with you. So you guys actually did this as a kind of a team project.
Yeah, that's really dream come true for me.
Well, that is awesome stuff. Hey, everybody, you're enjoying the Your Little Castle show. Stay tuned for more from our experts and those just contributing and making a little difference on our little planet. You're enjoying the Your Little Castle show.